I'm here with Nick of Suicidal Angels to talk about their upcoming new record, Profane Prayer, out March 1st on Nuclear Blast. First of all, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to me about the band, about the record. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much for your time.
So let's talk about this album. You guys are returning to Nuclear Blast, a house that you're familiar with, eighth record. What motivated, first of all, this reunion back with Nuclear Blast again?
Actually, we were searching for a label because the previous one that we used to have was almost closing down. So we reached out to the guys, and we had some discussions about possible releases and everything, and they were quite interested. So we said, like, yeah, of course, let's do it. I mean, like, there are people that, you know, of course, there are some changes in Nuclear Blast through the years, but a lot of people that we already used to work with are still there. So it was really easy. You know, we didn't have to meet a lot of new people.
It was an
So it
easy
was like
transition for
communication.
you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
So after following Years of Aggression, did you have time to look at what that album meant to you before starting working on this one, or you don't really look to the past? You're always looking forward when it comes to making new music.
We always look forward. You always also you're concerned about the previous record, but unfortunately, the previous record, due to the COVID situation, was not promoted as much as we wanted. Of course, we did some shows after they let us out. You know, when they opened up the borders and everything, but it wasn't the originally planned tour for Years of Aggression, because when we released the album, we even had like offers to go even to Australia and to territories that we have never been before, even coming to the States and Canada. But unfortunately, this whole plan was blown up in the air. So we just, like, you know, we focused on the new stuff. We tried to do our best. And as I always say, it's like for us, it's very simple, the whole thing. We want to move on with every record. We want to evolve with our music. We want to bring something new. And of course, not to copy ourselves based on the previous albums and previous releases.
So to take your words, bring something new. What do you feel Profane Prayer brings that it's new?
It brings some new elements on our music. On this album, we kind of extended like the borders of the strict thrash metal thing. I mean, like, we created some longer songs like Deathstalker and Fire Paths of Fate.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I was gonna say like Deathstalker and the Fire Paths of Fate. Those two songs are definitely outside the box.
Yeah. So as you understand, we are trying to sometimes to think outside the box, but we're not forcing ourselves to think outside the box. It's it's very simple, and it's like when when we create music, it's like okay, do we like this? Yeah. We don't have to. How can I say that? You don't have to like squeeze it to be on stereotypes.
Hmm.
I mean, we also had longer songs in the past, in the previous albums, but I think not that heavy or epic, if what you want to say it like that.
When you look at the this new album, Profane Prayer, are those new nuances, those new changes? Do you see those as the biggest strength of the record, or is there something else on this album that you would consider to be its biggest strength?
For me, the biggest strength of this album is that it contains 9 songs, which are like totally different between them. It could be on different records. It's like 9 different personalities all together, mixed in one album.
I agree with you, but I think the one thing that brings them all together is the great guitar work of this record. The guitar sound on this album is phenomenal, and that kind of gives a little bit of a tying those songs together a little bit. Don't you see it that way?
Of course, because as I told you before, these 9 songs have like 9 different personalities. When we did the mixing and the mastering process in the Fascination Street studios with Jens Bogren, um, he even like suggested to give the guitar sound for every song a bit a different character. But overall, they are the sounds the same, but for each song a bit more character based on the song and based on the personality of the track.
When you're putting this whole record together, this one or previous records together, do you look forward to what these songs are going to have to deliver live? Is the live side of the band an important aspect when you're creating the studio versions of the songs?
Um, I would say I would answer to your question, but in a bit different way. When we create music in the studio, in the rehearsal place, we try to make music that will make us headbanging first. Because if it doesn't make us headbanging, how is it gonna make you headbanging? Hope I covered your question.
I can see that. And this album definitely does that. You mentioned Deathstalker and the Fire Paths of Faith. Let's talk a little bit about those two songs. Deathstalker with some clean vocals, acoustic guitars. To me, one of the most, I think epic is a good word. One of the most epic songs that you guys have ever released. What inspired this track?
First of all, thank you very much for your nice comments. As I told you before, it's like for us when we create music, it's a bit of a difficult procedure because we want uh, to make a difference based to the previous albums. So these clean vocals and also the Deathstalker song has also some other guests. It's not me on the clean vocals. It's actually the guy who owns the studio that we recorded the album. His name is Fotis Bernardo. He's the ex-drummer of Septic Flesh. We also have Sakis from Rotten Christ singing as a guest, and also Efthimis from Nightfall singing as a guest. And this was really funny because uh, when we when I entered the studio to record the Deathstalker vocals, the vocal part, Sakis was there because he was recording something on his own. And when I started singing, I asked him like, "Want to join for a couple of lines?" He said like, "Oh yeah, of course." So he entered, he did his part. Then Efthimis came over just like to say hello and see how's it going. I asked him like, "Want to join as well?" And then Forty said like, "Ah, I want to do some clean vocals. No, let's try that out." And here we are.
Wow, it's like a Greek all-star cast.
Yeah, yeah. It was not even arranged. It happened like that.
That makes the song even better.
Glad
It's
to
more
hear that.
it's more organic. It has a better story behind it. Now, if that song is epic, the Fire Paths of Faith, it's beyond epic. It's like Lord of the Rings kind of epic. You know, was that the most, because of the length, because of all the ups and downs, because of all the ebbs and flows? Was that the most challenging song for you guys to write for this record?
Yeah, it was quite challenging. All the long songs are quite challenging because it's like the line between the line between having a song which is epic and a song which is boring is very thin.
True.
So so you have to take care of the details, you know.
It's so funny that
Cheers.
you say that, because it's so true. Like, there's a very fine line between making something
Yeah,
really good and epic and then completely putting everybody to sleep.
yeah. I mean, so we needed to be really careful on the details.
And you guys have like a standard to, like you said, you have to make people headbang. So you have to make a song that's epic but still delivers that headbanging factor to it.
Absolutely.
When you're putting a record together, specifically this one, is there something in the process that is more demanding from you, in order for the record to be a Suicidal Angels record?
I believe that through the years we managed to find our personality, you know, like to find our characters. So I don't think it's something that is really challenging. Every time that we create an album, the most challenging part of it is like to overcome the previous one.
Do you enjoy the process afterwards, the whole, interviews and media stuff, or you just want to get the music out there and play some live shows?
No, no. First of all, we want to deliver the music, and then all the rest are totally enjoyable. I have met some really interesting people through the interviews and everything, and I'm quite happy and satisfied when I meet new people, you know, and listen their opinion about our music.
When you're putting when you're creating a record that has this sort of process and this sort of dynamics, what is normally the final piece for you? Do you work on the lyrical content? Artwork is the final piece. What's the nail in the coffin?
Oh, that's a good question. I think the nail in the coffin is actually the combination of all these that you mentioned. They have to be like really, really nicely balanced. I mean, you can have like dark songs and fast stuff with Pink Elephant as a cover. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. You know, if
Unless you do a lot of drugs.
but then it's not a Suicidal Angels record. It's a little bit more
Yeah,
psychedelic, and it's a little bit
yeah,
more psychedelic. You know, and if there's one thing that I always expect from you guys is to deliver bangers. How do you keep releasing record after record with this kind of level of quality, with this kind of level of excellence, where me as a fan, I know when I pick up one of your records, I'm never going to be disappointed.
The process is really, really easy and simple. We don't keep fillers. We just throw them away. We don't make an album just to make an album with one, two good songs and all the rest are crap.
How many songs do you normally have in the basket to, like, for this record? How many songs did you start with before you narrow it down to 9?
If I remember properly, it was 13 or 14.
Wow. And those ones
And
actually are gone.
no, they're gone in the trash can. They're
So
not gonna be included in it.
it's not like you're gonna bring them back with an EP or something like that.
Nope.
Wow. Wow. What kind of expectations do
I
you
imagine that I even delete the whole project on the computer that I'm writing the demos. I just delete the project. I don't even keep it.
Oh, so you don't even have it like in a folder or something like that. It's completely 100% gone.
Yeah.
Wow. What expectations do you have from this record? Eighth album, distributed with Nuclear Blast. The pandemic is over. What kind of expectations do you have for it?
Not to see my home for at least 2 years.
Are you working
Simple and
hard on that?
straightforward. Yeah, we're trying to.
When it comes to thrash metal, does that genre, does that sound have a special meaning to you? Like, what's the roots that made you become someone who's in a thrash metal band?
That's a very simple and straightforward story. When I was in high school, I had started already listening to metal music since I was in middle school, like the age of 13 or something. And I wanted something. I mean, I heard all the classics, you know, Maiden, Metallica, and all this stuff, and Blind Guardian, and, you know, just like grabbing stuff from friends. And when I entered high school, I was asking from an older guy who was also metalhead, of course. Like I wanted something like which is like heavier, and he just gave me the Show No Mercy album from Slayer. So kick in the
Wow.
stomach.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's quite the start. That's quite the start. For me, was Beneath the Remains with Sepultura, but you know, your start is as good as any.
yeah, yeah. I mean, like, and then the rest is history. It's like, what the fuck is that? 6 months non-stop in the Discman, non-stop.
You played it like on loop.
6 months.
Wow.
I was trying to understand what the fuck am I listening to?
So is that your favorite Slayer record?
No, my favorite one is Rain in Blood, of course, but I'm a bit romantic with Show No Mercy because it was my first one. You know what I'm saying.
It's your first love. Yeah.
Hmm. I used to be a virgin before that.
Yeah. It's you know, Show No Mercy is your first love, and then Rain in Blood is your wife now, sort of speak. You know, what
Yeah, yeah.
if you're
Let's
trying
say
to
like that. Let's
equate it
say,
to something along those
yeah,
lines.
yeah, yeah.
But you never forget that first love. You know, you never forget
No,
that.
no.
One last question for you. You mentioned that the pandemic really fucked you guys over with a touring situation. But now with this new record, you have an opportunity to make things right. Uh, do you have any plans to come to North America? Because I'm dying to see you guys live. I think it's going to be the show where I'm going to come out of retirement. I'm going to take my shirt off and I'm gonna walk, go absolutely crazy like an old man in the mosh pit because I don't think you can stand still listening to Suicidal Angels.
Actually, we signed with a booking agency like some months ago for the States. But touring the States is not that easy because you need a lot of paperwork with visas and all this stuff. But I believe that since we managed to sign with a booking agency for the States, we're gonna sooner or later we're coming over.
I'm looking forward to it. I hope 2024 brings you guys to North America.
We really wish that we can come over the States because we've never been there, and it's like a huge territory that we could like expand.
Yeah, it's a huge market. I mean, Canada and US, it's a huge market. You guys, if you came here, I know you want to be 2 years away from your house. You can easily be 2 months just here,
Yeah, I know, I
and
know.
still not play everywhere because it's such a big territory. So for
Yeah,
me
yeah,
as a
exactly.
fan, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys here. I thought Years of Aggression. Let me tell you this: I thought Years of Aggression was the best record you guys have ever done, but now Profane Prayer is the best record you guys have ever done. It's all
Thank you.
around like I don't know how you guys keep doing this, but you make me feel
Me
young.
neither.
You guys make me feel young when I play your music because I grew up listening to thrash metal, and I feel like there's still good thrash metal bands now, but you guys are able to have that old school flavor, but still sound very modern at the same time, and I absolutely love it.
Thank you very much for your nice comments.
I'm gonna start the Suicidal Angels fan club when you guys come here on the next tour. All right, man. Take care. All the best.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You too. Take care.
Bye
Bye.
bye.